32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
The Lady in Black, the track too tough to tame, NASCAR's first super speedway. Need I say any more? Live from the Darlington Motor Speedway, it is the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series, presented by Racing Revolution. I'm your host and producer, Morgan Cook, joined alongside me as our color commentator, Alex Gagnon. And we, of course, are live on V-Speed as always. Thank you all for joining us. As we are here at the virtual Darlington Motor Speedway for the K&K Electric 200. Let's have a talk about our points. Last week, Alex Forget called his shots, won his first race of the season. Moved into 7th in the points. Jeremy Burns still the points leader over Tay McDonald and the rest of the field. Here are a look at your top 20. You see that yellow line? That is the playoff cut line. We're 12 weeks into the season, and it's going to start mattering quite a bit where you are in reference to that line. Win and you're in. So Grant Turner is going to move up a little bit. But Burns, McDonald, Rader, Gilbert, and Erhardt are your top 5. Orlando, Forget, Harrison, Holloway, and Murphy round out the top 10. Alex?
Yeah, I mean, you look at this across the board here, and the one thing I'm noticing, starting to see a variety of drivers pick up a win through the opening few races of the season here. going to create a lot of spread once we hit that playoff bracket. No one's really jumping well ahead of each other in these playoff points outside of maybe Jeremy Burns up in first. So opportunities across the board here to make some wide swings come playoff time if you pick up a win here before the end of the regular season.
Yeah, and a win is what everybody wants, especially tonight at this racetrack with so many nicknames. I think I mentioned 3 of them earlier. Alex, tell me about the Darlington Raceway.
Yeah, so I mean, this track, the fun thing that you always notice about it, not the same in turns 1 and 2 as it is in 3 and 4. Ran out of money, didn't want to pave over the pond there on the left side of the track. Figured they'd just make it a little bit shorter to go around it. And that's how we get to this famous egg shape that Darlington's had ever since it's opened back in 1950. High banked corners here on both sides of the track. Very narrow in 1 and 2, a little wider in 3 and 4. You'll see a lot of speed, but also a lot of handling troubles as you rarely have a car that works on both ends of this racetrack. You typically have one that's more comfortable for that tight groove in 1 and 2, or the more wide open 1 and 3 and 4. And you don't typically have both working at the same time, so it's going to really have a lot of accordion effect, I think, out here tonight, creating some interesting battling up at the front of the field.
One driver doesn't have to worry about it, at least for lap 1, is your Coastal Financial Pole Award winner. That is Robert Rader. So we go track side. It's our mission at Coastal Financial to provide comprehensive financial planning solutions tailored to each individual's unique needs and goals, with the aim of empowering our clients to make informed financial decisions, achieve their financial potential. You can find us coastalfinancial.com or on Facebook at Coastal Financial. And now a look at the rest of your grid. On pole, Robert Rader. Second, keeping the hot streak alive, is Alex Forget. Third, Jeremy Burns in a blacked out number 9. Kyle Harrison alongside in 4th. 5th, Carter Linz, and 6th, Chris Nail. 7th will be Grant Thorpe. 8th, Caleb Gilbert. 9th, Devin Hudgens, and 10th will be Trevor Erhardt.
Back in 11th, it's the 10 machine of John Fike alongside Michael Call. Those 7, James Loveland in the 02, Dustin Reinsettle in the 11th. Low 8, Christian Bresnock and Travis Gilbert. And 17th, it's the 26th of Kyle Diaz, Jeff Israel Jr. to his outside. And in row 10, Brandon Richardson rolls off in the 8th alongside Matt Robinson in the 1.
21st will be Kevin Orlando Jr. in the 27. Justice Murphy will start 22nd. 23rd, Michael Bennett. 24th, Dylan Picklesheimer. 25th, Daniel Holloway, the Candyman. 26th, Nick Alves. 27th, Al Likens. 28th will be Christopher Schaefer. 29th, Grant Turner. We have the face cam tonight. 30th will be Jacob Zervich.
Back in 31st, it's Parker Johnston alongside Peyton Presley. From there on back, Chad Lancaster and Wayne Lowe, with Cameron King rounding out the field in the 35th position.
Now it's time to go race side. Here we go. Raiders going to lead them into the restart zone. Barney's got the flag in hand. And we are green at Darlington. Like Rader is going to lead that first lap. Forget is not too far behind. They have put about 7/10 on Harrison, as Burns dropped a few spots, 3rd to 5th in that opening lap. A lot of that has to do with just giving the spot to the guy on the inside or on the outside, depending on who wants to lift into turn 1 to avoid having a bit of a pileup, Alex.
Yeah, 3 and 4, you can kind of afford the run too wide most of the corner. Turns 1 and 2, significantly tougher to do. We see a lot of cars get into trouble when they try going side by side into the entrance of turn 1. And that's why a lot of cars, especially early on in this race, are going to back up and give them a little bit of space. But as I say, that Matt Robinson and Jeff Israel Jr. are going to be side by side off the corner. Looks like Robinson takes that spot away for 17th. He's on a bit of a war path early. He's already up about 3 spots, I believe, from where he started.
And this racetrack will go through some changes with rubber being laid down. Tires are going to wear aggressively. This is one of the highest tire wear racetracks on any calendar anywhere. The line is so unique. Drivers really have their way with this racetrack, and they can figure out how to make their car handle better by just changing up their lines and their driving points. This is a true driver's racetrack.
Yeah, but that's also why we can see the field get so spread out, as everyone has slight differences on where they want to enter and exit the corner, and there being parts of this track where you can't afford to make it too wide without potentially putting yourself or someone else in a really dangerous spot. You can see the field really start to fan out, so only about 5 laps in here, the field's already spread out over 8.5 seconds of track, just through the nature of you got to kind of find your little bit of real estate and kind of stick to it and set up the car in front of you. Once that opening lap or 2 is done on the restart, it becomes a lot harder to acquire track position. You got to be able to capitalize when it counts, as the 23 of Schaefer clips the wall there in 3 and 4.
A few Darlington stripes I'm seeing already. The 23's got one. I believe it's Lancaster by chance. It's Peyton Presley, actually, who got one in 3 and 4 as well. But right there, entrance at turn 1, too wide. That is the hardest place on this racetrack, and very easy to catch that wall off of 2. But out front, yeah. Raider, no question about it.
Yeah, 7/10ths clear of Forget, the only other car within a second of him right now. That gap back to Harrison has stabilized a little bit, and the 45 might be starting to make some forward headway to the back of the 19, as you see on board here with Forget, going to try and find his way back to Robert Raider. That 19 machine's been on a bit of a hot streak lately, a couple of really strong finishes the past 2 weeks, including winning last week. He's riding a wave of momentum right now.
This is a race I'll be very curious to see how well he does, simply because I've known him to be a very aggressive and very fast short-run driver, right? He showed that he could really maintain tires at Dover, but that he's also a concrete genius, if you will. Darlington's a different animal. Really have to kind of have a saving mindset at this racetrack, which is why the field spreads out so far. So I'm curious to see how well Forget is able to do here tonight, as you can kind of hear him, and you can see that wheel. He is driving the wheels off of this thing right now, very loose off of turn 4.
Yeah, and pushing it that hard might give you some speed in the early going, but with how quickly tires can fade here, if this is a long run, which Darlington on iRacing tends to provide, given that what it considers to be the racing surface is really skinny compared to where a lot of cars could end up should there be an incident. We could see an extended green flag run, and those who are
we got a spin here.
going is someone's. Oh, what a save!
Oh, Fike hang on to it.
He did.
He did.
What
wow.
a save by the 10 of John Fike.
Oh boy, he got a lot of help actually from was that Loveland, I think, into the corner there, and used the wall a little bit to help him straighten out. But wow, what a great job just driving that thing off the corner and able to keep it pointing in the right direction. Only lost maybe a spot or 2, and then obviously track position, but yeah, wow.
I mean, he got tagged, didn't spin, barely lost any headway, and the guy who tagged him still behind him. I don't think you could have set that up any better given the circumstances there if you were the 10 of Fike. Was running 12th before that, now only down in 13th. We see a car going side by side here. Here goes Orlando looking to the inside. Going to see if he can find some room, but has to really get out the throttle there to make the exit of 2.
But Bresnock got a bad exit
too. So fast.
Bresnock got a bad exit as well, so they're still going to be side by side down into 3, and this is where you really have pick your poison. Do you want to run on the bottom and really burn up the right front tire? Maybe get a little faster exit. Do you want to run the top? Also burn up the right front tire and try and get a better exit. It's a really interesting corner, and depending who you ask is a different answer for everyone.
Yeah, a lot of the outcomes, though, can remain the same either way. Tire wear will be high coming off of 4, as it will be a lot of places here at this track, but especially that corner. Is up front, Forget maybe starting to reel in the leader just a little bit here. He's closed in about 1/10 of a second on Robert Raider. Still about half a second behind, but he is closing in just a hair. Tyler Harrison has lost a lot of speed from him. He's dropped way back to almost 2 seconds behind the leader here as this little 2-car breakaway continues to extend from the field.
And they are matching lap times right now, it seems. Really good exit there for Raider, but this, about 13, 15 laps in, this is where you start to feel tire wear. If you're pushing it too hard. We got side-by-side back there a little further in the field. Was that Jeremy Burns by chance? A little side-by-side here with Chris Nail into turn 1.
Yeah, and we know these guys in practice were going to be running side by side with each other, trying to get a feel for what it's like going through 1 and 2. As you see, the 88 clip the wall there.
Huge run
just
for,
about to
for
say
Thorpe.
Yeah, the 77 capitalizing. Here comes the 66 of Carter Linz as well, going to try and make this little 4-car battle for 4th.
Thorpe going 2 for 1. He might just get him off the corner here. Let's see. That not quite. See who lifts into 1, and nobody lifts into 1. Nail's going to take it back. That's a power move.
Yeah, that was a great run off the outside there from the 88. Gets back around Thorpe. Thorpe, though, did a good job not to lose too much momentum as the 88 went on by. Was able to jump in before Jeremy Burns could try to fill the hole. And now the 77 is going to have another run at it going through 3 and 4. Thorpe going to reach that 4th spot.
He got him there. He got him there. You can just see how much that side-by-side, though, slowed down that entire pack. Right? Like, Burns is right there. So is the 66. So is the 54. When you're side-by-side here, you lose so much time.
Yeah, that's really, they've now kind of all stacked up on top of each other as, Burns and Linz didn't have anywhere to go as they were behind the 88 and the 77. It's really made them fall back a little bit from the leaders, but now Jeremy Burns going to look to the inside here down the front straightaway. Going to see if he can try his luck in the turn 1.
And once again, Nail's just going to send it up there on the top side. Keep the momentum high and pull off of turn 2 here with the 5th position.
Yeah, that 88 pretty fast so far. Showed good speed in qualifying and has looked just as fast here in the opening stage of this race. Already 17 laps down, soon to be 18 when Raider crosses the stripe. But this field's spreading out to nearly 19 seconds already, and with lap times only about 30 seconds a lap. We might see Robert Raider and Alex Forget, who's really closed the gap, maybe run into some lap traffic soon. But the 19, he's getting quite a lot bigger in the mirror of the 53 right now.
Little Darlington stripe there in turn 3. That's going to halt the run for just a minute, but he has gained a lot of time, up just under 2/10. Robert Raider, I wouldn't be surprised if Raider's kind of playing it safe right now and just saying, come catch me, and then I'll drive away from you when you burn your stuff up. But they are 2.5 up on Harrison in third, who's also having a great run. There is 45 right there. Oh, we got wall contact for Burns back there.
Big contact for Jeremy Burns. Hammered that outside wall.
Little right
Looks
rear
like he's
damage.
going to be able to keep it rolling, but he's lost out the Nail. Might lose out to Carter Linz here off of 4 as well. This track proven to be a handful for the drivers in the early going. Already a number of Darlington stripes that we've caught on camera, let alone all the ones that we may have missed so far.
We got a battle now for the lead. It's within 1 car length. Forget has caught your leader, Robert Raider. We're going to see what he can do with them. These two obviously have a little bit of history. Talk about Dover, talk about Bristol. They always seem to find each other. They race hard against each other. That is not going to change here at Darlington.
Going to see where he's going to try and make his move. Going to step out on the back straightaway. What a run for the 19 of Forget. Going to look to the inside in 3 and 4.
Oh,
The
Raider
53
protected.
washed up the track.
That was a smart
Washed
move.
up the track, and the 19 goes on by. New leader here at Darlington.
Yeah, Raider thought he was going to drive it in deep, tried to slide job him. Forget pulled the reins back a little bit, and obviously Raider got into the fence. That was a veteran move by the 19.
Now the 53 going to have to figure out how to play some offense here after leading from the point the opening 20-some laps. Going to see how his car handles with a little bit of dirty air hitting it for the first time this evening.
And we still have a long way to go on this run. I think you can go about 60 laps on fuel here, so we're not even halfway on this run yet. So if you're, oh, caution's out, big issue back
caution's
here.
out.
Oh, we got a whole bunch of them
Whoa,
stacked up
big
here.
wreck.
Oh, we got 4 or 5 of them.
Diaz,
Goodness gracious.
Jeff Israel, Justice Murphy, just some of the cars I'm seeing. I think Bennett's in there as well.
Let's see if we can find out what happened here.
Huge pile up off of 4.
There's a bunch of those cars right there. Oh, is that loose for Murphy by chance?
Diaz
Murphy
and
into
Murphy
Diaz?
really going at it.
That's what it is. Murphy and Diaz, and then
Oh.
right in front of this big group of cars. And oh, huge hit for the 14.
Hammered. 26, not a soft one either.
No. No, that is not good on the car.
It's a tough break there for Chad as well. Jeff Israel's getting some fan support, and then the moment after, that 6 car gets caught up, and a whole lot of cars spinning around.
Yeah, that is not good news. Israel's able to get away from that, though, unscathed. Pretty much, a little bit of damage on the front end, but that shouldn't impact too bad. Looks like it's just a scrape, really. But on pit road, Michael Call stays out, so does Gilbert, but everybody else is going to bring it down. There's the 26. You can see no more nose on that machine, and there's a haze
Looks like
around the
14's blown the engine, yeah.
The magic smoke is not inside the vehicle anymore, and that's not where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, anytime it escapes the confines of your 1-ton vehicle, 2-ton vehicle, you're doing something wrong. And it may not have been the 14's choice in that case, but either way, it might be an early night for the 14 of Bennett as this race off of pit road. A little bit of contact there with Thorpe and the car in front of him. Couldn't catch who pulled out in front of the 77, but they definitely got into each other on pit exit, trying to race off pit road.
So a little rundown through your field. Your leader currently is Michael Call. Stayed out and is going to lead a lap. A little throwback to the number 3 machine. Right there is your leader. Grant Turner making a late pit stop. He is no longer in second. Forget is in third with looks like fuel only for him. Gilbert in the 22 is fourth, also fuel only. Hudgens behind him with another fuel-only stop. Rader, first driver on 4 tires in 5th. Harrison behind him. Then Thorpe, Robinson, Nail, Burns, who got that damage a little bit fixed, and Linz are your top 11.
Got the bonus one in there. And then just behind him there, you see the 10 of John Fike, who he's already had an eventful start to this race. We nearly watched him get turned through the corner off the nose of Loveland, who still remains the car directly behind him. These two already have tangled once. Curious if they will do so again. They've got plenty of time and the right proximity to do so. But the last time around, for better or for worse, the contact between the two nearly cost them both, but great save from John Fike. I'm still processing that save. That's why I mentioned it. I mean, it was wild that car didn't go around on him.
Yeah, that was an impressive save, for sure. I mean, you use the wall a little bit to kind of keep the right rear from coming out and just wheel it and drive it off the corner. That's exactly what he did. Good news is that he didn't get driven to the back of. That would have been worse, obviously, for the driver of the 10. But he will be A-OK for the meantime. And choose time.
That he will.
This is one of the easier places to do the choose, it looks like. Although I think somebody just... I just see 2 drivers drive over the box. Interesting. I guess we're going to have to find out about that. I swore John Fike just drove over the choose box, but... I mean, I guess if penalties happen, we'll know why penalties happen.
Something just to keep an eye on here. It looks like, Call's going to take that inside line. Forget will go up high. Looks like a lot of takers went low for this first go around. Hudgens going to move up from 5th to 4th. Forget from 3rd to 2nd.
I like the bottom here just because you have more room for one, and you can really use that apron and drive down and slide up if you need it. And usually the guy on the outside will lift for you. It's very rare that the guy on the inside will give you the spot. So we'll see what happens here, though. His call is going to roll into the restart zone, the field in tow. We're back green at Darlington. Great launch. He is going to clear Forget. Doesn't have to worry about side-by-side.
It's the best way to do it there in turn one is make sure there's no one directly challenging you for the lead. You see a big slide there from Thorpe. 77 had to step out and catch it as people were getting all
Forget just nailed the wall into 3. Pancake the side of that car. That might hurt the handling here in the future.
It is getting real hectic out there. Cars going too wide through 3 and 4. Not a whole lot of room. Here goes Gilbert to the inside.
Oh, he turned him.
Oh, he turned him.
And he saved it.
Oh, did he save it?
What is happening here? Oh, he's going to get the wall. No, he's not. Oh, my goodness. Shapers in the wall a little farther back. This is crazy. 3 wide into 3 is not going to work. Oh, my goodness.
Lynn's backs out, rightfully so. I was about to get claustrophobic. Looks like everyone's settling in temporarily. More contact with multiple cars off of 4. Everyone feels like they're going for it right now. The stage, I believe, is in, 15 laps? They still have some time.
That is one graphic that we did not put up on the screen earlier is the race analysis. Obviously, 147 laps here. So we are 30 laps in. I believe that stage is at 45. Let's see if we can confirm that here. Just bear with me. Yes, can confirm it is at lap 45. What a wad of cars here.
Yeah, I was wondering if the stage was about to end and they were all fighting for the points, but they've still got time to sort this one out before the stage ends, and a lot of them would come down pit road again.
Huge wall contact.
That's the 19, or not the 19, sorry. That's the
one.
car directly behind him, the one of Michael Robinson.
And Fikes can get to the back of him here, give him a little how do you do. Into the wall goes the 1, and that might not make him very happy.
Can't imagine it would. If I was Matthew Robinson, I would be less than thrilled as you see another car swipe the nose there. I think that might have been the 10. John Fike.
41 is bouncing off the 77. They might hit the wall here. Oh, they're wrecking.
Oh,
there they go.
More contact, and that'll do it.
Well, I didn't really want to predict that, but I did.
It wasn't hard to see coming, I feel like. It was just a matter of time before someone really went at it. And you spoke it into existence, although I don't even think that's on you. I think you were just seeing what was starting a lap or two earlier and just took a moment for it to really catch up with everybody.
Saying what's on the screen. That's the curse of the commentator. But you can see him there just racing hard and loose on the outside for the 77, trying to keep it off the wall. 41 slides up, and they do the tango down the backstretch.
Yeah, just heavy contact there for both of them. Not too many other cars involved, though, luckily. Looks like it was really just the 2. Everyone else may have bounced off each other a little bit, but were able to get out of the way for the most part to avoid what really got going. So the initial contact is there. The 77 still really unstable out of the corner, and then just collects the 41, and everyone goes low to avoid.
Yeah, that's right. Just side by side into the corner. 41 used up a little bit more room than I think the 77 expected. And yeah, like you said, once the 77 got loose, he never got it back under control and obviously bit him on the exit.
And that's a tough spot because if you get out of the throttle to try and collect that car through 1 and 2, you're going to get run over from behind, which is an arguably worse place to have that happen. It was really a lose-lose situation, and he thought he could try and hold on to it off corner exit. It looked like he had it stabilized for a moment, but everything you do here at Darlington's on such a knife's edge that whenever that car isn't fully planted to the ground, you're going to notice. And unfortunately, it bit both the 77 and the 41 there coming off of 2.
And you can just see how sharp that corner is, too. Like, there's a look at it right there. I mean, you're trying to get the car turned off the corner while it's going up a hill without leaning on the guy to your inside or outside. It's such a hard thing to do here. Nobody likes turn 2 unless you get a run out of it. But if you're side by side,
you only like turn 2 if the guy ahead of you messed it up more than you did.
That's right. Because never do you perfect turn 2. You only mitigate the damage of turn 2.
I would argue there's probably more stripes there than anywhere else on track, or at least stripes that have ramifications.
Yeah, stripes out of turn 2 are usually more than stripes, because that wall goes from, you know, you're turning the car to a straight wall that you just plow into, and you can't stop the car once it starts sliding or carrying out that way. So you can really get in trouble in a hurry out of turn 2. This racetrack is just so unique. Look at it high above this racetrack. You can see just how tight turn 3 and 4 is on the right of your screen. How wide turns 1 and 2 are, where all the cars are right now, and how narrow it is.
Yeah, and that's the fascinating part because, you know, turns 1 and 2 so much longer than 3 and 4, but 3 and 4 has the ability to run side by side a lot more comfortably, while 1 and 2 does not. So it's almost a pick your poison of, do you want the longer corner where you almost have to get strung out into a straight line, or do you want to go into the shorter, tighter turn where you can afford to do a little side by side racing, and what car or what corner is your car feeling better in that moment in time? Because you've seen some cars like Chris Nail in the 88 who's been really good in 1 and 2. He's been able to really roll it. And then you have other cars like Matt Robinson and a number of others who in 3 and 4 have been far more comfortable than on the far side of the track here as we hit the choose for the second time this evening.
I think I found the choose box. I believe it is where that black paint starts.
It would certainly seem so.
To take a guess, I would say that it is, as they're all avoiding where the paint starts.
Makes me wonder, you know, when is it going to be we get the iRacing choose drone? You know, that little guy that hovered down during the pandemic season.
That's right.
That just had people drive left or right. We need to get the drone cam going.
Yeah, I think
That's
that
our
was
prediction
at
of iRacing.
that was at Bristol Dirt, was it not? They started that because
Yeah.
they couldn't paint it on the ground, so they had that drone. Yeah, that would be a interesting addition to iRacing, certainly.
Put a little laser below it, you know, makes like an actual little line that you have to pick a side of.
Wouldn't that?
I've
be something?
got a lot of ideas for iRacing, but I'll keep most of them to myself here, as I don't think people tuned in for that at all. They've tuned in to see what Raider and Gilbert can do here on the restart.
And they roll into the restart zone. Raider on the top side this time. See if he can make that work. But we're back green at Darlington. Huge jump on the top side. 4:53.
He's going to look real comfortable.
Oh, we're
through 1
wrecking
and 2
again.
as he gets
That's the
oh,
10.
dicey. Looks like the
Fike
02 may have
again.
been involved there as well.
Oh, Fike really wrecked it
Oh,
this time.
no.
Oh, back up in front of the field. Oh, the 8's in it, the
that's
18.
going to collect a ton.
A lot of day enders right there.
It looked like Fike had it controlled down at the bottom of the track. I don't know if something broke or what, but that car snapped up in the oncoming traffic. Sirkovich gets caught up in it, Peyton Presley, amongst others. I think you also mentioned the 8 of Brandon Richardson. He's also in there.
So let's just watch this 10 right here. Tries to come down on Loveland. Loveland says, I'm right here. Kind of gets him spun around. Then there's a big banking change right there. And it just, you can see the rear tire spinning. Catches the 7, 8 hard into the wall. So is the 18. Yeah, it just got out of control. It just couldn't wheel it back by the time we got into turn 2. And obviously back up in front of the 7. Tough break for a lot of drivers. But Fike is now retired from this race.
That's a tough break, you know. The 10's had his work cut out for him here tonight. And that's going to be some absolutely catastrophic damage, not only for him, but for guys like Richardson and Presley.
This is on board with Presley.
Looked like they were going to avoid all of this, and then at the last second, just nowhere to go.
Yeah,
what
just
can
snapped
you do here?
and boom. Part of this is rack and pinion steering as well, where with a regular steering box like is in the Xfinity and truck, race cars, when you can really feel where the steering is at, where the front tires are at. With rack and pinion, there's a lot more play in the wheel, and you can't quite tell when you're turned back to the right, when you're trying to save a slide, and they don't grab immediately. And that's what happened to the 10.
Unfortunately, I'll collect a couple of cars here. You see a number of folks down on pit road here over the first couple of incidents. You know, we're getting close to the end of the stage, and it's gotten real dicey after a really clean opening 20 laps or so. Cars now with these repeated restarts having some issues finding their space on track to kind of spread out and get into their own rhythm.
And once we go back green, it should be about green-white checker stage, if I'm not mistaken. Be an interesting kind of restart here and see how long we'll go until the stage when there's another caution, or if we'll just run this caution out. But at this point, Raider is your leader. Led 29 laps today. Gilbert behind him. Travis Gilbert, that is, in the 22. Harrison is third. Linz is fourth, and Forget is fifth. A lot of damage on that 19. He's used up both sides of it. Nail in the 88 is sixth. Devin Hudgens is seventh. Burns in that Trans Am scheme is eighth. Matt Robinson, ninth. 10th is Al Likens in what I would call the Blue Deuce, although there's not a 2 on the side of that machine.
And a little farther on back, Jeff Israel running 11th. He's had an eventful opening bit to this race. Dylan Picklesheimer running 12th right now on the Petty Throwback. Orlando Jr. in the Miller High Life Throwback running 13th. Grant Turner rolling 14th at the moment. And Nick Alves running the 15th. Is the Grant Turner one? I'm trying to take a quicker look at that real quick if we've got a second. Is that a Teku car? Oh, that's rad.
I'm going to say yes.
That's some old school Hot Wheels Acceleracers action going on there with Grant Turner. Big ups to the 39 with the Teku throwback. Love that. Not sure how many people were going to be picking up on that one, but he's throwing it back to what I'm pretty sure, I think that was the throwback for the Diora 2's Teku paint scheme. So big ups there. I don't know if anyone else is going to be a big Acceleracers fan seeing that one, but if nothing else, Grant Turner, you've got my vote throwback for my vote for throwback of the race here. Big Acceleracers guy up here in the booth.
Look at all those lights. We're talking about that pre-race. Like it is a party in that room right there. We got the streaming set up and so many LED lights for Grant Turner. What a day.
You ever want to imagine what it's like to drive on the surface of the sun? Grant Turner's showing us exactly what that might be right now.
Let's get back up to the front of this field. Raider one more time is going to lead him off to the restart zone. We are going to see how good of a launch he gets from the blimp cam. Pretty good one. And then we're checking out through the field,
too. Outside line, something fierce.
He did. Oh, wide exit for the 45. So he's going to make it through all right, though. He might have caught a little bit of wall there entering the corner. That was Orlando caught the wall in that Miller High Life machine.
A dangerous turn, too, there. Multiple cars bounced off the wall. Now you see Turner going all the way up to the outside in 3 and 4. Gonna see if he can get his way around Alves.
Oh, Schaefer got put in the wall by the Candyman. Huge damage on the 23. And he can't turn into the corner. That car is killed. You stay green.
Good. Well said. The good news for the 23 is at least in a couple of laps we'll have the stage here, an opportunity to try and repair it. He just has to nurse it around a couple more circuits.
We got somebody here riding the wall a little farther back. Can't quite tell who that is. An 8 maybe? Oh, it's the 20. Lancaster really having some issues with the right front. Unable to steer, but we are white flag on the stage. The Raider is going to grab another stage win. Harrison will be second. Not quite going to catch him. We got a good battle back here a little farther back, though.
Yeah, look at that.
Big wad of traffic.
Unless they made that last caution the stage break.
Could be. Hard to say. Unlike Fox, we don't have NASCAR in the booth beside us, able to feed us that information. We're just trying to wing it out here. Maybe this time is the stage.
Maybe. It's either that or maybe they deemed it was within 5 laps of the scheduled stage, so it was, quote, close enough. Every league does it a little bit differently, but looks like we're staying green, so I guess in hindsight, stage winner, Robert. Nope, never mind. All right.
Wow, we're so good at this.
Man.
All right, your top 10 at the stage. Raider wins the stage. Harrison is second. Carter Linz in third. Chris Nail is fourth. Jeremy Burns rounds out the top 5. Forget is sixth. Lycan seventh. Travis Gilbert falls back a little bit to 8th. Israel Jr., terrific rebound into 9th. Kevin Orlando Jr. is in 10th.
Strong lineup there in the top 10 after the opening stage.
I think that's the first time this entire season we've actually got the stage right. So thank you, Alex. Your help has been tremendous.
You know, I bring one thing to the booth, and that's approximated knowledge of when the stage break is.
Thank you. That's something that was definitely missing before. I need to add that to my repertoire, but it is not there at this point. Anyway, we're coming down pit road. This is a long race, folks. It's gonna get wild in the booth. I can only imagine.
It's gonna get wild. Hopefully, it does not get too weird. It's gonna be the only thing that we'll have to see over the next 100 laps of racing here. But an entertaining opening 46 or so. Now make it 47 as they make their way down pit road. Been some cautions here, but been some good green flag runs at the start. We've gotten a little bit of both. Curious to see if everyone settles in now that they have the opening stage under their belt, or if it's going to go right back out there to clobbering each other, going in the 1 and 2 on these restarts that we've seen the past couple times.
Well, let's hope not, but who knows? As the top 6 are going to stay out, Raiders the first off pit road with a fuel-only stop. And you can see all the other cars trickle off pit road right here. Lovewood looks like the last car off of pit road this time. Your leader, we were just talking about him. Grant Turner, maybe he's going to pit this time. See here, he has a habit of pitting 1 lap after everyone else, and he does it again.
Not the only one. Looks like Schaefer is going to come down pit road as well. Maybe trying to repair some of that damage from just before the stage break.
Yeah, he caught
that
the
23 machine turning well those last couple laps.
No, it was not. He was good friends with the outside wall. Caleb Gilbert, the 54, is your leader. He is up from his 8th starting position. Michael Call right behind him. There's Caleb Gilbert's screen time. There it is. Michael Call is in 2nd. Ryan Stedel 3rd. Erhardt 4th. Then Raider after those 2 cars pit. That is your top 5. Only about 10 laps on tires for the 4 that stayed out. We're going to find out how much tires are worth here in just a few laps.
And I'm getting, I was just seeing in chat, looks like someone was saying it was not the Diora 2 throwback for Grant Turner. It was the Hot Wheels Slingshot throwback, the Kurt Wilde one for the 39 machine. So little off on who it was thrown it back to, but Acceleracers nonetheless. And it's a sharp-looking car. A throwback to something we've never seen on a stock car, I don't believe. So it's a cool-looking one, to say the least. But there is a lot of really cool throwbacks out here. Morgan, any that have caught your eye out here?
I do like this Jeremy Burns machine, obviously the Trans Am scheme. One thing I want to clean up, you said that this, where are we here? This was a throwback. This is not a throwback. This is what Eric Jones ran a few weeks ago. This is their Dollar Tree scheme. Obviously, Dollar Tree was not the sponsor of Richard Petty back in the 60s and 70s when this scheme was made famous. Just want to clean that up for chat in case you think we don't know what we're talking about. We know what's up out here. We know what's going on. Other
the only
throwbacks.
modification is the rookie stripes for him.
Right.
Unless that was technically, did they have Corey Heim run that race?
Corey Heim has run this car before. That was at Dover.
That's what I'm trying to think. If was it just Dover? Okay, I wasn't sure if Jones was back for Wasn't sure if he was back for that or not. Either way, though, sharp looking ride, and
It
there's
is.
a couple of really fun throwbacks to the Miller High Life one. Always a classic.
I also like this
As
Miller
is
Lite
the
40 as well.
It's a fun one. Little bit of a beer battle out there between the two. Days of old.
Lots.
Much like Darlington.
And then of
as a
course
whole.
Michael Call in the throwback to Dale. The front row here, Darlington. He was very good at this racetrack. Into the restart zone, inside line, gets a great launch as he clears by 1 car length. Here we go into turn 1 for the 50th time tonight.
Oh, getting a little squirrely off the 2. Was the 66 of Lynn's.
There's a look at him right there. And Burns got around Rader. That's a big move. Those two drivers both pit. Burns up to 4th position. Everyone in front of him has stayed out.
I don't believe Rader took tires, though, which might be why he's looking like he's backing up that bit of the field right now.
Yeah, Burns
A lot
didn't
of
either.
pressure on
Burns
the
is
back bumper of the
loose.
53.
Burns just about wrecked out of turn 2 right there. But yeah, neither of those two, the 9 or the 53, took tires. Fuel only for them, trying to get them in the window. This is a racetrack where you save your tires both on the car and on pit road as much as you can. A late race caution when everyone else is on 20-lap old tires and you get brand new ones, pretty much hand you the trophy. 27's
An
in the wall a
aggressive
little
move
bit.
by
Big save.
Bresnak. Was trying to get around, I believe, the 27. Was able to do so. Orlando Jr., though, had to really check up. Lost some pace. Alves will go around. Here comes Picklesheimer to his outside as well. 47 did finish 10th in that stage, but going the wrong way in a hurry here as he's in danger of tumbling out of the top 20 by this next circuit.
He's had a bit of a rough stretch. I remember back in a little farther in the season, he was second in points, Jeremy Burns, for quite a while. That has not been the case the last 4 or 5 weeks. He has fallen back, and he's falling back in this race right now as they're about to do something wild here. 34 got kicked out of line. .34 still struggling on the inside. To the damaged 18. It's a battle right there. 6.7 back of the leader.
And a lot of these cars back here have taken a little bit of damage at some point here. The 18 of Sirkovich, you can see the battle scars on the front of that machine after that big wreck in turn 2 a little while back.
20 as well.
The
He
34 trying to roll.
found a lot of time on the outside wall that last couple laps before the stage was Chad Lancaster.
Yeah, he's stuck behind low at the moment, trying to find his way on by.
Battle for 26th. Decent battle here for the 17th position. Hudgens, Bresnak in a new look pink Whitney. So everyone must be thirsty tonight. That's the kind of the vibe I'm getting out here. Seeing a lot of adult beverages on race cars.
You know, historically, Darlington, South Carolina.
Oh, big slide for the 14.
Big slide for Johnson.
That is the wrong
Johnson
car.
was way out there.
About
The
48.
of Daryl Johnston way down off the track. Luckily, able to kind of keep it in one piece. Not entirely sure what happened to.
Oh, 22's going around.
Oh, there he goes. Huge contact with the inside wall.
Yeah, that was off the nose of somebody. Didn't quite catch that. Yeah, big slide, little inside wall contact. Don't know if that car's going to be all right. It'll take about 2 laps for him to shake it down. Got to get out of this little hornet's nest with Turner and Robinson first. Keep our eye on the 22. He's running not too bad.
Yeah, seems to be handling okay now that he's gotten back into the mix.
I think
That
he'll
was
be
a
all right.
scary moment, I'm sure, for Gilbert.
I think Gilbert will be all right. See if he can turn down the hill here. He can, a little loose, but Nothing too crazy. I think the 22 is going to be okay. A little further up to the front, Jeremy Burns has found his way to the 3rd position. Trevor Erhardt in 2nd. Caleb Gilbert is your leader by about 1.5 seconds. Biggest lead we've seen tonight by anyone, if I am not mistaken.
Yeah, he is really checked out here. Now that he's got some clean track to work with. No one really in front of him right now. He can just go out there, hit his marks, and set a comfortable pace. And that comfortable pace seems to be a pretty quick one, too, as you see Grant Turner all the way down to the inside on the backstretch. Not entirely sure what sent him down there, but now he's in the outside wall. The 39 having all sorts of issues right now.
I saw on the driver cam, he was dead sideways with the wheels. His arms were shaking, and thought maybe a good time to tune in to see what's happening with the 39, and I was right. Just about got sent by the 18 into 2. Maybe have it straightened out here. This is for 24th position. Hudgens and Alves going at it. Slide job for the 24. He is going to get that position. Going to go to work on Parker Johnston in the 48.
We just had that big moment a couple laps ago that put him back in this position in the first place.
Oh, big wall
It's a
contact.
24. Oh, boy. Going to force the 84
3
way
wide.
out of the
Oh,
way.
That was almost 3 wide. That was
thought about it.
almost a crash. Saw that one coming. Resnock saw it too, lifted. Good move by the 00. Looks like he has not indulged in too much of that pink drink.
I'd certainly hope not if he was jumping behind the wheel of a car moving upwards of 170 miles an hour here tonight.
I would hope not as well. That would be irresponsible, of course. Michael Call falls back a few positions to the 9th spot. So we have a little bump drafting session there with those 4. So, Alex, have you had the pleasure of driving this Darlington Raceway?
I certainly have, although I don't know if I'd call it a pleasure.
When you get into 3 and 4, we talked about it earlier, how you have the top or the bottom. You can even run the middle if you really want to. What is your philosophy getting down into this corner? Where do you want to be?
Typically, I end up running it kind of similarly to the way I run 1 and 2. Kind of diamonded it just a little bit. Maybe not all the way out to that outside wall, but I kind of hit the middle and come back in. I also have a really, really bad track record at Darlington, so I don't think that's necessarily the correct way to run this track. I think what we're seeing up front right now with Gilbert, Burns, and Erhardt, probably the better way to go. Even with Michael Call back here in 9th, he's got a little bit of traffic in front of him. This was never a track that was very kind to me. It is very much a driver's track, and that is part of the reason why I struggled at it and then ended up here with you, Morgan.
Very good. I prefer the inside running 3 and 4. I'm not really sure why that is. I just have always liked sticking my left sides right beside that dotted apron line. I guess the white line, and just try and roll the bottom. I get a nice straight launch off the corner. I don't get loose. And it seems to save the right front tire rather than sliding it like a lot of drivers do. They'll drive here, slide up the corner a little bit right there, and then try and drive it down the corner. And I never really had success with that. Turn 1, I think, like everybody else, just clip that apron and then drive down off the corner right here. Don't hit that apron. That's bad news. And don't hit that wall either. But see what
That's even worse news.
We'll see what Caleb Gilbert does. He runs that very high line and diamonds it, and then is going to drive it down the corner here.
Yeah, this is kind of how I would approach 3 and 4, although looks like Caleb Gilbert does it a lot more smoothly than I do. I'm normally clinging onto the car for dear life whenever I try it. But it's also been a minute since I've tried driving Darlington, so maybe things have changed here in any sort of recent update as we make our way on to lap 68. Caleb Gilbert smooth sailing up at the front of the field. 1.4 seconds over Jeremy Burns. Then it's another 7/10 back to Erhardt and company behind.
Raider is 4th and caution's out. Is that Wayne Lowe? Oh, and Gilbert.
Whoa! Travis Gilbert, front end of that car destroyed. Same with the 34 Lowe.
Got some modifieds out here at Darlington. Not what you want to see. Let's go back and have a look. What happened to them? Side by side. That's probably not a good sign in this situation. I'm going to take a stab at it that it was off of turn 2.
Looks like they start running out of room there, and yep, heavy contact into the wall for Gilbert. Lowe loses the front end as well. Looks like those are the only 2 cars involved, though.
I would.
Smaller incident, but big damage for the 2 that were in it.
I would agree with that. And that's, I don't know if it's quite a day ender for the 34. Let's see about the 22. I haven't seen his car just yet. I wouldn't say it's a day ender yet, but definitely some suspension damage on both of those cars. It's just so easy to find yourself caught up in something here.
It really is, especially when you trying to make a pass in 1 and 2. Both cars just run out of room so quickly that it just becomes a matter of you got to try and get out of the throttle or get down as much as possible. But when you're running tight for position, sometimes you don't have that luxury, and you end up with situations like that. We've seen it happen a couple times tonight off of turn 2 where 2 cars door to door just run out of room. As Jeremy Burns, I think, wins the race off of pit road.
Yeah, he just got it's a really good launch out of the box. I mean, he had about the same time as Gilbert did in the pit box, but was able to beat him by just under a second down pit road. So really nice job by the 9. He will be the first driver on new tires, as Turner is going to stay out. A little head fake. But one lap.
You could pull anyone with him.
1 lap too late for a head fake, though. I will give you that. Schaefer is also in the top 2. He is second, stayed out. Everybody else, except for Grant Thorpe, back in 21st, has hit pit road. I think Thorpe is coming in right now.
Yep.
He sure
77. Going to bring it on down pit road. That monster rehab machine, let me tell you, some of the better energy drinks out there. The iced tea one would definitely say one of my personal favorites.
There he is.
A lot of drinks out here tonight, both spicy or otherwise.
Well, let's have a look at the weather. It's a hot one, 86 degrees in the virtual Darlington, South Carolina. 100 degrees on the track temp. Maybe why we're seeing so much chaos. A lot of loose race cars out here.
Track temp, though, starting to descend with each passing moment, even in our little look in there at the temperature. Track temps down into the double digits for the first time here this evening. And they will continue to drop, I'm sure, as the sun gets lower at virtual Darlington. Grant Turner, Christian Schaefer up at the front of the field. Burns and Gilbert then row 2. Really curious to see how they sort out the choose. I got to imagine that the 39 and the 23 will go opposite of each other. And then what does the cars on new tires do?
Oh, he waited till the last second, did Turner, to make that move, and he went to the bottom. Schaefer behind him. I really like that for Jeremy Burns. Guess we'll find out here.
On fresh tires, he might be able to really make some noise here in 1 and 2, battling for the lead with Turner. And we know that 39 car, not pristine at the moment. He definitely hit the wall once or twice that last run. So I'm not sure if he'll be able to fully get the power down and get that thing rotated as he's accelerating. The 9 car might have some issues on that outside lane, but he's going to have the fresh tires, which will be an advantage for sure.
Definitely. Little race recap for you. 5 cautions, 6 lead changes, and we may just see 7 lead changes. Barrel off in turn 1. 23-lap older tires are what Grant Turner has over Jeremy Burns, and that is not a recipe for success at Darlington.
No doubt about that.
We see the 39 off strategy on tires, it seems like every week, so he clearly knows something about this situation. He's been able to turn these into great finishes a time or two. So let's see what the 39 can do here on these older tires. As into the restart zone we go. And away goes the 39 into turn number 1.
Not a bad launch from contact with
contact.
Schaefer and Gilbert. The 54 is going to keep it forward, but boy, did he get absolutely hammered into the outside wall. He's got a whole host of cars trying to chase down on him now.
45 caught the wall as well off of 2. Looks like a little casual contact. Not going to hurt that car too much. as we got a battle for the lead here. Jeremy Burns is to the inside of Turner. Israel Jr.'s in the wall a little further back. Turner's going to really drive it down into turn number 1. I hear cars hitting the wall into the middle. I think that was Harrison again. How did Raider get up there? Wow.
Raider had a great run through 1 and 2, capitalizing now as Burns couldn't complete the pass for the lead. Here comes the 53 power move to the inside. Going to take away second. He might just get the lead here off of 4. Robert Raider shot out of a cannon.
Gonna drive it deep here into turn number 1, way down to the apron. He is going to slide up in front and take the lead.
Wow. Talk about a driver who was digging for that lead.
Turner. Good save. Got to remember, Turner's also racing on a Thrustmaster Formula wheel at Darlington.
Whoa.
I would not advise crossover for the 41. He's going to get the spot, it looks like. Going to turn 1. He does clear the 39. Top 3 on new tires and driving away. Raider, Burns, Erhardt.
Yeah, that battle, even just that half a lap battle with Erhardt and Turner has cost the 41 about half a second on track. He's got some work to do now if he's going to try and get up the Burns. You see Caleb Gilbert just pushing Carter Linz past the 39 right now, just shoving him down the front straightaway as they both try and clear here in 1 and 2.
I think we're just going to
Gilbert nearly ran out of room.
Hang out around this 39. This, I think, is where the action's going to be. Oh, he nailed the wall.
Whoa!
He caught that wall
Heavy
really
contact.
hard. Oh, 3 wide to turn 3. Not a good idea. They somehow make it through.
Settle shot the gap.
Yeah,
what
he
a
did.
run from the 11.
Comes Forget behind him. Oh, he got turned. He got hooked.
He got turned.
Oh, man.
Oh,
That's just...
Grant Turner turns the 19.
Yeah, loose out of 4. Been there, done that. Yep.
The older tires not working to his advantage. And as he made his way off of 4, got loosed, went to go try and catch the car, and Forget was just right there. There was nowhere for him to go, and he ends up in the fence. That's going to make it real tough for the 19 to keep that streak of good fortune he's had going the past couple weeks. Last week's winner might not be able to repeat here tonight after that one.
The good news is, and we'll see it right here, the damage wasn't too hard. The crash wasn't too hard. It was really just, well, that door contact was, but the door doesn't do much at Darlington, hopefully. But the damage to the nose isn't too extreme. So I think both these drivers will be okay. Maybe just, a few seconds of damage repair to be done in the pits. And we just passed halfway. Here at Darlington, a lot of drivers are going to stay out. See if anyone comes down pit road. We were just on pit road. It looks like nobody going to take that trip down. Schaefer, Forget is going to take that trip down pit road. Either drivers involved in incidents or on old tires, saying now is the time, and then some drivers back in the field as well. Let's have a look here at what we have for tire sets. 5 available. A lot of drivers have pit 3 times tonight. Might be running short on tires considering we're only halfway. This will be something to keep track of. Tires at Darlington are premium items. So we are going to head to a quick commercial break here. You are watching Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series, the K&K Electric 200 live from Darlington. Back right after this.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot
37.
Oh!
The world gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Swack.
A punch from the 33. Two
It's a
in
drag
row.
race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Welcome back, Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series, Darlington, K&K Electric 200. Here we ride on the front bumper of Robert Rader, who has led 43 laps here tonight, coming to the choose. One thing I want to talk about at Darlington that we haven't said yet, this racetrack, obviously, the groove is very narrow, about, maybe 2 cars wide, less at points. The original intention for this racetrack, that orangish, not used asphalt down at the bottom by the wall, that was originally supposed to be the racing surface all the way down to that orange line. What they did during that first race is they started running down there, and this upper banked part was supposed to be a runoff area for when drivers got out of shape. Somebody got out of shape and went up there and passed a whole bunch of cars, and then the cars that got past, that they tried driving up there, and it was much, much faster in the banking. And Darlington was born.
And they've kept that unique layout ever since, which has created both some very memorable moments and also some very tense ones for those watching, because there is not a whole lot of room to navigate here with this whole design being we're supposed to be the runoff. But it's created some great racing over the years, and so far, I think we've had a pretty good one so far tonight. A lot of action all throughout the field, a couple of tight moments as well, but that's just going to happen when you run a track as difficult as Darlington Raceway.
Yeah, you're right about that, and a couple Element X drivers going to lead them to the green flag. Rader and Burns, where have we heard that before? Big jump in the zone. Down to the turn one. Let's see what these drivers can do. Be clean so far, it looks like. A lot of 2x2 as to be expected. 41's going to squeeze past the 66. Hudgens made a little bit of contact with the wall. Slide into the corner here for the 40 underneath Nail. They're going to make contact middle of the corner. Check them all out.
Chris Nail was trying to run that high side. The 40 kept pushing up the track, and the 88 was basically looked at it as well. I'm either going to end up in the outside wall or I'm going to stand my ground right here. And the two of them door to door and bounce off each other just a little bit. It's a big slide for the 88. Had to catch that thing off the wall coming off of turn 2.
That could have been a lot
Israel
worse.
got a great run up to his back bumper. Yeah, much to your point, could have been significantly worse for Chris Nail. He's going to hold on to it right now in P7.
That call, I think, got in the wall a little bit off of turn 2. Loveland to the inside. They're going to go side by side into turn number 1. No contact to this point. We got to turn down the hill, though. Oh, big time loose for both those drivers.
The fact that they were both loose is what saved them there. If Loveland had got that corner cleanly, he probably would have ended up hitting the 89 as he came down the track. Big slide from the 40 off the outside wall. Lycan's going to lose a ton of track position here. And he might have to try and figure out this on the inside here as like 4 cars go on by. Going to have to try and slide in front of Robinson.
Yeah, big slide a lap ago for the 40. And just now regains his composure and regains his momentum. Looks like he's going to stick into 3 this time. Yeah, he lost a lot of time. A lot of spots in one corner and all the way down the front stretch. Back to 14th.
See Robinson poke his head out there, thinking about trying to get around Orlando Jr. Nothing going there in the 1. He'll settle back in as back up front. Jeremy Burns, Robert Rader. A little bit of action for the lead. Don't count out Erhardt in it yet either.
I was thinking that too. This top 5 has not separated like it normally does. We've seen a lot of these runs where the top 2 or 3 really drive away from the field. That has not been the case here as Burns is all over the back of Rader. Erhardt, Linz, and Harrison all within 1 second.
A really quality run so far tonight for the 11 of Dustin Reinstettel as well. He's worked his way slowly but surely up into the top 6 now. As you see that 11 machine looking out, watching all this action for the lead and the ensuing cars in the top 5. Burns had a chance there on Raider through 3 and 4. He's closed in a ton of distance. Less than a car length now between the 2 leaders.
Erhardt with a big dive into 1. He's going to try and make this thing work off a 2. Get a big run. He is able to maintain with the leaders. Burns lost a little bit. Erhardt really drove it into 3. Huge slide. Going to hurt him on the exit a little bit, but that was a power move by the 41.
That it was. Here comes Linz, though, to the inside in the 1 and 2. Going to try and figure this one out side by side through the narrowest part of this track. Lynn's going to try and dig on that inside lane. Doesn't have a ton of room to work with, but they remain door to door.
Here comes Harrison.
Here comes Harrison pushing him through. The 45 just punted him like a cue ball through the gap. Takes away that spot. They both end up in the outside wall.
Yeah, 41's up in the fence. 45 trying to make that move. Erhardt under attack as the leaders still go at it. Burns trying to pass Raider, but cannot find the place to do so. I heard somebody hit the wall pretty good back there. I think we're okay, though.
Erhardt is in the wall again, losing out positions now to Reinstettel and more.
And nails there. Israel found this little party, and Harrison's still up in the fence.
A tough go of things for the 45.
Oh, they're turning.
The 41 right now, he's turning.
Oh, 41,
41
big damage. Up in front of traffic.
Wall.
Bang.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's...
Is that Forget?
That is... Oh, Schaefer. Got him.
Schaefer.
That was Robinson. Was the one car that got T-boned.
Oh, that was the one.
Yeah.
The one in the 19 running similar looks here tonight, but still, Matthew Robinson, heavy damage there. As the 41 helplessly drifted up the track.
That reminded me a lot of a race here, Southern 500. Jimmy Johnson, it was AJ Allmendinger, no brakes into turn 3, I think. Tried to dive under and avoid all the cars, ended up hitting Jimmy Johnson very much like this. Bang. From on board the 1. Avert your children's eyes, or if you're squeamish, this is not going to sound very good.
Not going to look very good either. It's like me on a karaoke stage.
I don't sing.
There's a reason I don't anymore. But yeah, no, so this happens going into 1. You can see that cluster of cars off in the distance as they made their way through the corner. Shooting down the track.
And at this point, what do you do?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing you can do.
To go.
Yeah. Loveland got caught up in it as well. See that orange car up in the outside wall. But as far as the initial contact goes, this looks a lot like an incident I had last night in an Xfinity race. Actually, let's go look on board with the 41 again. Replay this down.
If you get motion sick, if we're watching on board with the okay, we're gonna get the blimp cam here. I was about to say, if you get motion sick, 41 might not be the place to be right now. As you already see, he was in this tight battle with Nail, and the 88 kind of moves up the track as the 41 runs out of real estate, gets turned off the nose, and bam. Just
and then,
heavy damage.
Then that hit from Schaefer too was a pretty big one.
Yeah. Gets absolutely tilt-a-whirled by the 23. And I think that's the last car to make contact with him, but multiple times that 41 went for a ride in the matter of seconds.
That's just a byproduct of the groove here, and it's not a self-cleaning racetrack by any stretch. The banking isn't really high enough for that, a lot like Dover a few weeks ago, but if you slide into the corner into turns 1 or turn 3, you have no choice but to slide up the racetrack into the groove, and that's where all the other cars are. It's very difficult, obviously, to avoid such an incident, as Turner's going to stay out again and lead another lap. Is this, 5 for him? 8 for him now, off of the kind of backwards pit strategy that he's trying to employ.
The 39's been very dedicated to this strategy all night. The rest of the field, though, I'm sure maybe a little less thrilled about it. The last time the 39 led the field to the green, a couple laps later, he ends up getting loose off of 4, makes contact with the 19 of Alex Forget, brought out a caution. So I wonder if that's weighing on the minds of anyone in the top 10 here, knowing that that 39 might be really sliding around off these corner exits once they get going green again, if it's anything like the last restart.
I think we're to the point in this race where we're just about 50 to go. You don't worry about that. You just trust that the guys around you are going to be able to do their job, and you just go and figure it out. And I think that's really it. I mean, Ryan Settle also is on old tires. He only took fuel. So the top two, just like that last restart a couple ago with the 39 and 23 on the front row, they are both on old tires. Rader and Burns, the first two drivers on the 4 fresh ones.
There's a car stalled out at the entrance to pit road.
That
or,
is
just past the entrance to pit road.
That is the 02, I believe, of Loveland. And so is Bourget. Don't know what's going on here. Let's see if we can get a gyro cam. Oh, I think they're just waiting for the choose. I think that's all it is.
Did they have to cycle to the back of the field, maybe?
That seems to be the way. No easier way to do that than just stop on the racetrack. Of course, under caution, that is okay. Would not advise under green to stop on the racetrack, and any racetrack.
It typically does not end very well if you decide to park it, unless you're Josh Williams. Then you get to parlay that into a pretty sweet ride with Colleague. That being said, he is definitely the exception, not the norm.
Yes, he is not the rule. He is the exception. So, for all you aspiring race car drivers out there, don't park on the racetrack. Turner and Reinsettle going to lead them into the restart zone. See if the 11 is going to try and roll this start a little bit. He's a fair ways off of the 39. Turner a little bit of a later jump in the zone. Rader's going to get a good launch from third. Might even get second by the time we get in to turn number 1. He sure does.
No doubt about that. Just cruised past Ryan Stettel. The 11 now going to have a lot of pressure off of 2 from Burns. 9 looking to the inside as cars weaving in and out behind him. But it looks like Burns will clear Ryan Stettel for third, as Robert Rader closing in on the back bumper of Grant Turner for the lead.
Impressed how well Turner hung on that restart. I mean, I know we got the jump, but he's still a little over a tenth ahead of that 53. Clean air, though, is going to help a lot. He's very loose. He's driving very hard, obviously, to try and keep the 53 behind him. Oh, big dive underneath the apron for Rader.
Wow.
That is not a move you see too often in 3.
I'm shocked that he decided to try and make that work, and I'm amazed it did, as they door each other down the front straightaway. Robert Rader going to take that spot away in 1 and 2 over Grant Turner, but wow, 53 impatient there or what? He went out there and snatched that lead away from Grant Turner, even if it meant doing a bit of a dive bomb in 3 and 4, and then the 2 cars leaned on each other on the front straightaway.
Burns trying to make that same move work here out of turn 4. He is going to, I think, clear the 39 by chance. Yeah, no, maybe?
Whoa.
No, that was close, but he did not clear into turn 1. He should
almost
be able to
tried
get
clearing himself off the nose.
Would not
that was
advise.
almost catastrophic.
Yeah, don't do that.
But he ends up clearing.
He got him. Now those 2 cars on old tires are right beside each other. In front of each other, how about? They are 3rd and 4th. Hanging on quite well, I might add. Very impressed. 15-lap older tires, the rest of the field.
Some good pace here through these couple of laps, and might get them in prime position should a caution fall their way in the late stages of this race. Might have an extra set of tires to work with as the 39 clips the wall. Big slide from the 66. More cars scattering behind him, as you see Travis Gilbert here, who's already been through a bit of a war tonight himself. Going to try and sneak his way by on the inside for 11th. The 66 machine way down on speed here.
Something is big time wrong with the 66. He dropped out on the backstretch and lost, I think, 8 or 10 spots. I don't know what happened. He was a pretty good threat up there in the top 5, but seems to be up to pace at this moment. don't know what goes on with the 66. Forget back to 17th. He has struggled. A lot of damage on that car, so he got spun out of a top 5 position. Trying to rebound right now. Peyton Presley is impressing me. Found himself, was it driving into the side of somebody earlier when they came up in front of him?
Yeah, it was when John Fike shot up the track when
That's right.
something broke there in 2. That was the car who was immediately in front of him, and he's rebounded incredibly here. He's having a good run back into the top 20. Currently running 14th. Same with the car behind him as well, the 18 of Jacob Sirkovich. Another guy who was involved in some early contact and has muscled it out here for a pretty solid run, up 15 spots from where he started despite the damage he's got to that number 18 machine.
How about the 22? Remember him, he was backwards out of turn number 2. He's up to 11th and driving that car. Got that one fixed pretty good. A lot of drivers had issues tonight who made it happen.
Yeah, about to say there's a lot of guys who have had them work their way through some issues and been able to do so. Another guy who's doing that is a guy who just broke into the top 5 here, Jeff Israel Jr., trying to get around Grant Turner for 5th. He might be able to do so here in 1 and 2.
Oh, Turner
That
rides the
6 car was
wall.
involved in the first caution of the night. Fell way back and now has rallied his way back into a top 5 running position as he clears the 39.
That Turner rode the wall into turn 1. The tires are struggling on that car. Reinsettle's still 3rd right now, which is very impressive. Got
Yeah,
Nail
I'm
right
shocked
behind
that
him.
he's had the pace that he has still on those tires. Because while the only other car out there on the similar aged tires is Grant Turner, and Turner's still holding on in 6th. You can tell whenever cars get near him, it becomes a very different ball game for the 39. He looks like he's on a razor's edge every time he comes off of the corner. Meanwhile, the 11 seems to be a lot more stable, at least from the couple of times that we've seen him. And he's only got Chris Nail to contend with here as they make their way down the front straightaway.
And that's just based on, that's all drive. Obviously, these setups are all the same, so that's just all driver and how you manage the car. So you can really affect how the car drives by your entry into turn 3. This is the most important corner for balance. If you really drive it in hard, you'll hurt the right front tire. If you drive it in soft and power off, you'll hurt the right rear tire. There's obviously battle here. Ooh, that is not a good view. Wow, that was inside the wall. Oh boy.
Didn't know we had the ability to phase through time and space to bring you that shot inside the safer barrier.
We found it.
A little behind the scenes action.
We found it. Look how many cars Turner is holding up right now. There's like 11 of them behind this 39 and nobody can get around him.
Now, it looks like Michael Call might try and do so here off of 4. Got that car pointed down and away around Grant Turner. Turner into the outside wall, almost a mirror image of what happened with Turner and Forget about 30 laps ago. You see the 39 here now also lose out to Travis Gilbert. The floodgates are starting to open as those laps start to tick away. More and more cars are going to try and rip their way by on the inside. You see Jeff Israel Jr. look to take away the spot from Dustin Ryan, settled the 11 in the wall.
Yeah, stripe for the 11. Add 1 to his tally. Turner continues to fall back. He's back to 11th now. Harrison trying to make a move on him. Ooh, that is tight. I definitely thought that was going to be a little more dangerous than that, but they made it work into turn number 1. And off of 2, singles out. Turner back to 11th.
Yeah, he's running that alternate strategy. Still up a ton of positions from where he started today. But he's banking on being able to get fresher tires later in this race compared to the rest of the field. And he's been adamant on this strategy really since the drop of the green flag. There's been a bit of the alternative scene as he doors the 27 there. Orlando Jr. slid up the track. 39 had nowhere to go to make contact. Orlando Jr. goes on by. Here comes the 84 and the 19 as well. The last time Forget and Turner found each other on track, especially off of turn 4, it ended horribly for them both.
Looks like they're going to be all right this time. Turner is going to be side by side with Presley. Going to make a move here into the corner. Presley lifts wisely, and Carter Linz going to make that charge back up to the front where he spent most of this race. And just a kiss there. for Turner to that turn 2 wall.
Yeah, I'm looking at the field here. These two leaders, Robert Rader and Jeremy Burns, have completely checked out from the rest of the field. It's 2 seconds back to Chris Nail, then another 2 seconds back to Jeff Israel, basically, about a second and a half. And then it's another second back from 5th on back. So these two guys, they might be all the challenge they have for one another. You see on board here with the number 9 machine of Jeremy Burns, rocking the flannel tonight.
These two have always seemed to run up at the front. I've a number of top 5s for both these drivers, obviously both in the top 5 in points. Very impressive season for both Element X drivers. Burns chases Rader this time.
And right now, the 9 just kind of comfortably hanging in, drives it a little bit deeper there than the 53. You still have some time to try and calculate how you want to make this move, but laps are starting to tick away here, going on to lap 115 of 147 laps here. Less than 40 laps to go, just north of 30 as they run, as you see a battle here for Jet and Orlando Jr.
This is for 11.
Battle it out.
And the next spot is Reinsettel on old tires, so that very well could be the battle for 10th here in a minute as Reinsettel's struggling. Orlando's going to probably go around him here. Reinsettel to pit road. Big move here for the 11. Big strategy call. Try and turn this race on its ear.
Yeah, this is going to put a lot of alarm bells, I think, for the rest of the field. You know, I think a lot of them need to come down pit road still before the end of this race, and Reinsettel going to do so earlier than anybody. Had decent track position, too, when he decided to bring it in. He was running around that edge of the top 10, so
he was
Dustin
10th.
Reinsettel going to take a big swing here at the last stage of this race.
Yeah, this will flip the race on its ear. Gives you the opportunity. You are going to be, let's look at the lap times here, a full second faster than the rest of the field. With 30 laps to go, that is exactly 1 lap worth of lap time here. Turner is also down pit road, it looks like. Yes, he is. So is Bresnock. This run has started. Holloway might have also pit recently. Maybe Alves is going to come down pit road. Not this time. Nick Alves, though, is your biggest mover of the race to this point, up 17 positions. 26-9 is the 24 car.
He's having a great run tonight. It's been a quiet one, but with the way Darlington's been so far, that might be the best way to do it. He's just been slowly but steadily working his way through the field, and now when it matters most, he's put himself in contention for a whole haul of points, as he can reasonably probably track his way up to 4th place here. You know, this group is all kind of mashed together. There's a lot of points on the line, a lot of positions up for grab just ahead of the 24 right now.
And if they keep checking up like this, you can get a really good run off of 2. Let's see if he does it here on the 45. I had to hesitate a little too much to not get into the back of him. And Forget also is going to make a move. That's not going to help anyone. Oh, Forget may be pitting this time. Is the 19 going to be aggressive on strategy? He is. Don't speed. I think he's okay.
Certainly got it down the speed by the time he got within the pit wall. Just a matter of how much. Rader has also opened up a 1-second gap over Jeremy Burns all of a sudden. The 9 machine lost a ton of time to the 53 over the past lap or 2.
I think Burns might have caught the wall a little bit, maybe with that right front, hurt the steering a little bit, or he could just be maybe on the long side of this run, going to run it all the way out, just really wants to save that stuff. Maybe Rader will burn it up a little bit more than Burns will. 25 laps, we'll find out.
Closing in toward the end of this one, more takers now on pit road. There's the 24 of Alves as the 19 machine of Forget peels away. Slow trickle to pit road here in this closing stage. It's going to completely shuffle everyone around. But everyone does need to come down pit road one more time, I think, if they haven't already, before this one's all said and done.
Fuel-wise, they can make it. So it's really how bad are your tires. You're about halfway through the run right now. And like I said before, we're now down to 1.2 seconds. Raider is slower than his fast time. Burns is 1.5 seconds off the pace. So how bad's your car handling? How bad are you compared to everyone else? Gotta make a decision. 18. Oh, he was coming down pit road. He crashed in the backstretch. Now he'll be coming down pit road. Big issues for the 18 out of turn 2. That thing is destroyed. Fender's not even... Oh, and now it's attached. Okay. Toe links broke.
He's had a lot of damage tonight from earlier incidents. Had rallied back to running inside the top 20. But now seemingly having some more issues there is Jacob Sirkovich as he nurses that thing back down pit road. Not a whole lot of cars who have yet to come down pit road. And I think the window to do so might be closing if you haven't already. 13 cars still on the lead lap right now. Robert Rader back to Al Likens, 20 seconds behind him. Everyone else a lap down trying to close in. Dustin Reinsettle, one of those first cars to bring it down pit road. He's almost at the front of this pit cycle of those who have already come down pit road. The current leader of that group, though, is the 0-2 of Jesse Loveland.
Yeah, James Loveland right there. V-Speed car. Show him some love, obviously. He's 14th. Is Gilbert coming down pit road by chance? He is. Gilbert, Israel, down pit road. These were drivers well up at the front. Cameron King also on pit road right in front of the 54. Now it's the top 13 that are a lap down to your leader, Robert Rader, but I don't think he's coming down pit road. Only 21 laps to go. I think he's going to stay out.
He continues to stay out, as does Jeremy Burns behind him, although Burns continues to concede time to the 53.
Orlando Jr. is in from 6th. Call is in, just leaving now. Israel just leaving as well. I think you got two options. If you're the leader, I think you got to stay out. Burns may be coming in pit road. He is. Now, if you're Raider, you got to come in next time because Burns is going to get you if this cycles out the way he thinks it is. Harrison's also in pit road. It's getting spicy. Travis Gilbert, the 22, comes in as well. So look at him. But
Just
if you're...
about everybody now has come down pit road. Sans Robert Rader and maybe one or two more cars.
If you're like Al Likens, not having the best run of your season, this might be a good time to just stretch this thing out and see if you can catch something. Because you're 20 laps still left to go in this race. You can make it on fuel. I'd be staying out if I was the 40. Maybe you can steal a win. Carter Lynn's same boat, although he's on pit road right now. So is Rader. Hudgens, I would say same thing as Likens. He is leading this race at the moment. Going to get some bonus points. And who knows what could happen. Two tires.
He's about to be the only car who is yet to make his way down pit road, I believe. 2
tires for Gilbert's going to leapfrog him over a lot of these drivers. His Raiders still on pit road. This will be a battle for the lead. There's the 54. And the 53 is still rolling pit road. 54 is going to zoom on by, see where they close up. There it is. That is a change for potentially the lead. That might be a very big move. As the gap ahead
big
is...
swing from Caleb Gilbert.
Yeah, that's a big gap as well.
Looks like Hudgens bringing it down pit road here. Al Likens will inherit the lead unless he also makes his way
on
down.
pit
No,
road.
He just did. So everyone has cycled through. Caleb Gilbert has inherited the lead. The big question is, how big is his gap back to Forget, Reinsettle, and Rader?
Yeah, Forget, where did he come from? Obviously pitted earlier in this cycle, 5 laps earlier, in fact, and he gained a lot of time. Reinsettle up to 4th, might net positive on this strategy. He was 10th when he pitted, so obviously +6 right now. With 17 laps to go. Oh, this is about to turn into something. I can feel it.
The big question's going to be Robert Rader's got to make up just south of 2 seconds. Oh, big moment there. They nearly doored each other off of 2.
And that's going to help
Robert Rader
Gilbert.
Gonna settle back in. Yeah,
Help Gilbert a little bit.
Added like 0.3 of a second as the 11 up into the outside wall. Can Robert Rader track down Caleb Gilbert? Gilbert only on the 2 tires. He will probably not be moving as fast as the 53, but got himself a ton of track position when it mattered most.
And you can see the interval is dropping, both to Forget and to the leader. Leader, it's now 1.85 seconds. Forget down to 4.5 tenths. And the gap back to Reinsettle is growing. Raider, the fastest car on the racetrack right now. Oh, this is going to be one heck of a finish. I can feel it. He's got to clear the 19 if he's going to get anywhere, though.
And he has to do so with relative ease, you know. You can't just be battling with him lap after lap. He's got to clear him quick if he's going to have a really good go at Gilbert. As you see him just lunge into turn 3. The 53's done that a couple times tonight, and he's made it work just about every time. And has he been aggressive going into 3 or what?
Yeah, sometimes that's what you have to do. Slide job and loses you the least amount of time as long as you can slide in front of him correctly. And now the gap is under 1.5 seconds.
And closing. And there's no cars between the 54 and the 53. So he might just be able to pony right on back to the back bumper of Caleb Gilbert, who's now having a little bit of lap traffic in front of him here.
Yeah, he needs to clear Loveland very, very quickly, or else he can see this lead start to evaporate. Maybe this win start to slip through his fingers.
Also, I'm wondering if Loveland's currently scored a lap down. Wonder if he just got himself back on the lead lap or not. Either way, Robert Rader now only a second back in closing.
Yeah, Loveland just pitted 2 laps ago, so I think he is probably not going to be a factor for the 54. Yeah, it's under a second, like you said. Rader is closing in very quickly.
And with Jeremy Burns 2.2 seconds back, I don't think the 9's going to have anything for the 53. Forget pit so early and has all that damage. I don't think he'll be anything for the 53. It really will just be a matter if Caleb Gilbert can defend ferociously in these closing few laps as Rader continues to get larger in the mirror. Now only 0.5 of a second back as we make our way to 12 laps to go from Darlington.
And big moment there. Looked like for Forget, maybe loose off of turn 4. He's something way down to the inside as it's under half a second for your lead.
Oh, splitting the defense. Some lap traffic in the way here.
Johnston and the Candyman of Holloway, but that is really going to help Rader. Hurt Gilbert more than it helped him splitting that gap. 10 to go.
Robert Rader's there. He might try and step out here off of turn 2. He's going to do it right here. The 53 surging to the inside, diving deep into turn 3. My goodness.
And that's
He's been more willing to dive all the way down there more than anyone else tonight.
Completely undefendable move. There's nothing you can do about it. It's up to him to not hit the wall, and he doesn't. So he just gets that free pass on you. And new leader, but not a new leader. Led a lot this season, led a lot tonight. Raiders at 84 of 147 laps, 138 how about laps. Not done yet. And he is driving away. 0.6 now is the gap. Over his teammate, Caleb Gilbert. Good run for Element X as they're also in third. Jeremy Burns trying to go for their second 1-2-3 of the season. Forget battling hard for fourth with Gilbert. This will settle out fourth and fifth as Forget is really working the turn 2 wall. Oh, big slide off the corner. That might just give it to the 22. Oh, I thought he was going to move him.
Looks like it will.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it would be a tough look trying to move him there as they get around the lap car of Parker Johnston.
I would have done it, but that's
at least
just
the
me.
22 of Gilbert.
There's Nail back in 6th position. 7th is Reinsettle. Pit strategy +3. It might just work out for him. Nick Alves is in the 8th position. Jeff Israel Jr. is 9th. And Harrison, quiet day, P10. Be a great day for him.
Yeah, he's had a really strong run. Looks like Nick Alves, big mover there as well from where he qualified. back in the 20s, now up into P8. He's had a great run today in the 24 machine, and I'm sure would be happy to take those top 10 points home today when it's all said and done.
Yeah, it hasn't been a great season for Al. He's caught up in a lot of incidents. Not a ton of great finishes for him. I don't think we've talked to him on a podium yet, but a solid 8th place run at a very difficult racetrack is a really good way to turn your season around, as we are about halfway through the regular season. I counted, I think 22 weeks left, not including the All-Star race, till we crown a champion in Phoenix. Speaking of champion, Robert Rader, last year's champion, won at Phoenix, where he sort of won earlier this year, was first across the finish line, did not get scored as the winner. That was, in fact, Caleb Gilbert in second place, who has got a mirror full of his teammate, Jeremy Burns.
Yeah, it's been a great strategy call here for Caleb Gilbert. Even if Burns gets on by him, that's probably the last position he would lose. It would bring it home on the podium with a big swing, taking 2 tires late. It's worked out for him in a big way. Burns, even if he gets by, I don't think he'll have any sort of time to try and track down Robert Rader, 2.5 seconds ahead of him here.
And that was 5 seconds that Gilbert was able to gain just on the pit stop alone. Doesn't even count the extra laps he pitted earlier than everyone else. Good move for the 54. He's going to be a hard pass here for Burns. There's nothing easy about passing your teammate. A bit harder at Darlington, where you don't want to make contact, but side by side into 3. See if he tries that aggressive slide job. Not quite as aggressive as the 53. Second place, Jeremy Burns.
And as we hit 4 to go here, Burns will slide, actually 3 to go. Burns will slide ahead of Caleb Gilbert. Travis Gilbert currently scored in 4th, Forget 5th. And looking in that top 5, more or less might be settled here. The only real action going on inside the top 10 could be Harrison and Israel for 9th and 10th. Looks like there's some a little bit of a battle going on there at the last spot of the top 10 for those points as they start to close in on Reinstedel here. That pit strategy might be presenting itself at the worst time here for the 11.
I mean, he was 10th when he pitted, so I mean, he's only 2 spots ahead of being a net zero, and you might as well gamble, right? You're running 10th. You're not going to be able to pass them all on raw pace, it seems like, tonight. So, but hang on for another 2 laps, and you might just gain a couple spots from where you would have finished. Mirror full of the 45.
Yeah, there is nothing to see out that rear view right now than what the 45 is doing, since he's filled up that much space. But coming around off of turn 2, Robert Rader for the final time here tonight.
On the Erhardt Homes white flag, love where you live. Out of turn 3 and 4, Robert Rader is going to win a dominating race at Darlington. Congratulations, Robert Rader. And that is another Element X podium sweep. We'll talk to all 3 of those drivers after this race. Rader, Burns, and Gilbert. Travis Gilbert finishes in 4th tonight. Yeah, he earned that win. 94 laps led. Started on pole. Won the stage. Perfect race for the 53.
Yeah, class of the field tonight. There's no doubt about that. Went out there, took care of business, and his teammates did the rest, rounding out the podium. And they're all going to bring it off of turn 4 here to celebrate.
You can see it right there. That's teamwork. These guys all practice together. Do a great job. There is your podium. So we're going to take a quick picture. Make sure they got enough time for that. There goes Burns. There goes Gilbert. And there goes Rader. You have been watching Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series. K&K Electric 200 from Darlington. We'll be back after a quick commercial break with your results and interviews with your top 3.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The ball gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Dweck.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
So Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
Back here with your results. K&K Electric 200 at Darlington. Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series, presented by Racing Revolution. 7 cautions, 12 lead changes. Nobody led more of them. Robert Rader, your winner. Started off pole, won the stage, won the race. Jeremy Burns and Caleb Gilbert come home second and third. Travis Gilbert rounds out your top 4. And Forget turned it around, keeps that hot streak rolling with a top 5. Chris Snail is 6th. Nick Alves turned a mediocre day into a pretty good one, finished 7th. Tyler Harrison quietly at 8th. Limbs finished in 9th. And Ryan Settle, pit strategy did not quite play off. He finished where he started that pit cycle in the 10th position.
Back in 11th, Jeff Israel Jr. rallied for a strong finish here tonight. Grant Thorpe finishes in 12th in that number 77 machine. The 84, Devin Hudges, he raked it home tonight in 13th, just ahead of the technical throwback of Grant Turner, who his up and down day did net him a 14th place finish. Kevin Orlando Jr. 15th, with Michael Call in 16th. 17th is the number 7, the Peyton Presley, who had a very dramatic day, but was able to rally for a pretty solid finish, all things considered. Cameron King finishes 18th here tonight in the number 93 machine. with Bresnock and Johnston rounding out your top 20.
21st tonight was Loveland in that V-Speed 02. 22nd was Al Likens. Those drivers 1 and 2 laps down, respectively. Picklesheimer 2 down in 23rd. Holloway, the Candyman, finished 6 laps down in 24th, which is an improvement from his 25th place starting position. Robinson in the 1 finished 25th, 18 in 26th. Richardson 27th. Schaefer, Murphy, and Erhardt round out the top 30. None of those drivers had a particularly great day by their standards.
Yeah, and then the rest of the field tonight. In 31st, Wayne Lowe. 32nd, Chad Lancaster. And then back on there, John Fike in 33rd, just ahead of the 14 of Michael Bennett and the 26 of Kyle Diaz.
Those drivers all obviously caught up in a very early incident or two in this race. No fast repairs tonight. Relegated them back quite a bit into the field. We're going to do something a little bit different tonight. We're going to talk to almost the entire Element X racing team. Caleb Gilbert, Jeremy Burns, and Robert Rader at the same time. Why don't you get them up here, Alex, and we'll have a chat with your podium.
Betcha. So pulling people in to the studio.
Just waiting on Robert Rader here. Hello, Element X Racing. It's Alex and Morgan up in the booth. You got a copy?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Try something a little different this time, since it's basically a team affair, much like Phoenix was earlier this season, although I think this win counts, right, Robert?
I really hope so.
Good.
Counted for me.
Good. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it counted for Caleb.
I know you got it last time, Caleb. That's what I'm alluding to. Obviously, I think it was a choose cone violation, right, on the 53 many weeks ago.
We don't talk about it. What's the question, Morgan?
I do. So let's talk pit strategy. Caleb, you first. Obviously, 2 tires on that last stop. You really kind of made it happen there with gaining a bunch of spots. What was the mindset? How'd the car feel after those 2 tires? And could you do anything with Burns when he caught you?
Yeah, I had tried 2 off strategy plays before then, and they backfired. I mean, short pit the stage, caution comes out. Second, I get on pit road. Pitted a little bit early, trying to hope we went green right before that last caution. So I killed myself with track position. Drove up to 4th or 5th. I believe I was in 4th or 5th. The track felt really good on 4. Long run speed was amazing. And I figured, I love finishing 2nd and 3rd, but my best shot at somehow winning the race was to take 2. Maybe get a timely caution in there, something like that. At least at the bare minimum, I knew I would leapfrog the 2 in front of me. Didn't have anything for Burns or Rob at the end there. So, tell those guys, hey, take it low. I'm 2-3 tenths off. Car was just a little bit too loose in 1 and 2 on 2. And a little bit too tight in 3 and 4, just a notch too much. But all in all, it worked pretty well.
It sounds like you obviously knew what you were doing. You calculated all the risks, but I think Alex has something for you.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you tonight, the decision there late in the race, the 2-tire strategy, was that something that you were planning all along, or was that something that just kind of presented itself as this race was winding down?
It's a mixed bag. It all depends on situational, who you have in front of you, who's behind you. Luckily enough, I have great teammates here in our little booth that were able to take. I don't know if Burns or Rob took 2 at one point, but they both said it worked pretty well. Enough to leapfrog on track position if needed. So having that insight, and I think I did it at the stage actually, and it was all right. So I had a little bit of experience on them. So it's one of those decisions on the fly that, hey, this is going to be my best shot. I'm not going to lose any positions from this. I only have something to gain, so why not?
Yeah, obviously turned out well for you as you finished in 3rd tonight. So congratulations on that, and joining obviously the rest of your teammates up here. We're going to keep you up in the booth in case you have any other insights for the rest of your teammates. I just saw Rader put the big W beside his name in the booth, and that's just about right, isn't it? Well, let's move on to Jeremy Burns, who is for some reason wearing a cowboy hat. Let's get that on the stream right there. There it is. That's new. Why don't walk me through what's going on here in this driver cam frame?
Well, I tell you what, we had a convoy out there. We were Smokey and the Bandit. Unfortunately, the Smokey got taken out early, but yeah, we're Bandit 1, and we were up there in 2nd place tonight. But I tell you what, with the teammates up there, it was was a pretty good convoy. You know, if you've ever watched the movie Smoking the Bandit, you'll know what I'm talking about. But anytime that we come to Darlington, I always try to bring something out of the bag, even though it wasn't technically a throwback race. But just really happy to come out here and finally get a good finish here. Mondays in the trucks, we actually had really good success. So being able to kind of use that and come over on a Wednesday and get a good finish, that's always good for the crew. And we always love a little style. You know, it's we have fun with it over here in the league. But yeah, overall, really good race.
I will say that Trans Am ski makes a lot of sense at this particular moment with the hat and the shirt and all that. But yeah, congrats on that second place finish. You managed to not lead a lap tonight. That might be the first race this season you have not found your way to leading a circuit. So what are your thoughts on that, Mountain Man?
Yeah, Jeremy, what are your thoughts on that?
I wanted my extra bonus point. I feel like it's a joke within the team that I always try to get the lead lap bonus point, whether I have to do it under caution or stay out an extra lap before I pit. But I tell you what, Rob, I really wish that you would have given me at least one there. But we'll remember that for further weeks. We'll remember that.
I think we call staying out under caution. We call that the Grant Turner. I think he did that every caution tonight, and he picked up quite a few laps led. So I need to look into that, look into that, Jeremy. But congrats on second place. Obviously, you ran well, ran with your teammates, got up in the top 5 and 10 all day. Yeah, I didn't ask Caleb this. I should have asked him. Let's go with Caleb first. Anyone you want to shout out, Caleb, for this finish, short of your teammates?
You're making it easy on me. Everybody in here on the team, including, well, Jeff's not in here, but shout out to Jeff. He had a great run today. We work pretty hard every week. Burns is always really good on getting us a little bit of the details, and then we go out there and we drive them to the best of our ability. All the sponsors, Coastal Financial, Buttkicker, of course, the one and only Chapman Environmental Services. They're the best for a reason. And then shout out to you guys up in the booth. I know it was an interesting race. It'll be fun to go back and watch and see what you guys had cooking up. So we appreciate y'all.
We'll appreciate that. And yeah, this interview is going to be it's something a little different we try out here on V-Speed tonight. But let's go to Burns. Who do you want to shout out for this race? And you can't say what Caleb just said, so you got to come up with something else.
Well, I have
Except
a whole
for the
list. Don't
sponsors,
you
you
worry.
can definitely mention
Say
that.
the sponsors, of course. Yes, naturally.
Yeah, well, obviously Chapman Environmental, all about bugs, all of them. Buttkicker, Coast Financial, Ultimate Exterior Lighting, Erhardt Homes, Recharge Rally, everybody over here at V-Speed, obviously, and the guys up here in the booth. The team worked really well tonight, so really glad to come on with a 1-2-3 finish. My mom and dad, Josie, Dylan, Coach P, Sonny, my grandma, Miss Betsy, Julie, Derek, Caroline, Shannon, Belinda, and anybody else out there, the admin team, everybody that is able to make this go around on every Wednesday. So shout all them out and get on next week.
Right on. That is your second place finisher tonight, Jeremy Burns, the Mountain Man, as they call him. Slide you off the screen as we go and talk to our first place finisher, Robert Rader in the 53, led 94 laps. You definitely could have shared one with Jeremy. Pretty selfish of you, but that's neither here nor there. What did you have tonight that nobody else did?
Track position, I think, is pretty much it. Took advantage of the restarts when I was back in the pack, tried to get through cars on older tires before those other guys who were on equal tires with me, because it was going to be so hard to pass. Even with that, I did get past a couple of times for the lead there, and then it was just good strategy. Working with the team, it's always helpful finding the right strategy for the right situation, and it definitely worked out. So there at the end, I kind of just manage it with Jeremy and save a little something there, and then when he started getting on me, turn it up a little bit, and once we had a second and a half, I was feeling pretty good about it. As long as I didn't screw the pit stop up, we didn't hit the barrels, and the rest is history.
Yves Lotono.
I was gonna say, Robert, I feel like I've got to ask you here. You, more than anyone tonight, found a way to make passing in the entry of 3 work by torpedoing down below what most people would consider usable track there, and yet every time you slid up perfectly off the wall, got you a ton of time. How is that something that's only made an appearance here tonight, or is that something that you've done at Darlington before, knowing that you could make that move stick?
So it works when the track isn't crazy hot, but you also have to have at least some kind of speed advantage on those guys. So I definitely pulled that move a few times, but I believe I had a reasonable tire advantage every time I did that. I just didn't want to get stuck behind a guy in 3 and 4. I needed to clear them so that when we got back to turn 1 and turn 2, I didn't have to follow behind them the whole way through there, because that's the sketchy side of the track to pass. So, yeah, you can throw it in there pretty hard, harder than I think a lot of guys know. But when we come back here in September, I probably won't be the only one doing it.
Yeah, the secret is out of the bag. Obviously, you made a lot of passes that way, and I think some drivers will go back and watch the tape, as they say, see if they can gain an advantage on Element X Racing, who obviously went 1, 2, 3 tonight. Robert, who do you want to shout out for this win?
I got to shout out Jeff Israel for having a really good race. He's not in here with us right now. I think he came home 11th, but really good run for him, especially at a place tough here like Darlington. So shout out to Jeff. I won't go through all the sponsors again because my wonderful teammates have done a great job of it, but I will hit Chapman Environmental Services again, sponsor on all of our cars here on the team. They sponsor the league, and they're the reason why we can have these awesome V-Speed broadcasts. So appreciate them and appreciate you guys. And yeah, man, it's always a fun racetrack to win at because it's so hard to win here. Anything can go wrong at any time, and you got to keep the car in one piece, and so it's always a special one. So yeah, pretty happy with this one.
Yeah, definitely fun racetrack. My favorite racetrack personally is this Darlington Raceway. But any parting words for V-Speed Element X?
Yeah, let's go do it again next week.
All right, how about
All-Star
that?
race, baby. North Wilkesboro, another hard one. Go out there and win that thing.
Right on. Well, good luck. Maybe another podium.
In the SRX cars, nonetheless. That'll be fun.
Yeah, these guys over here, Burns and Rob, they can have that one. I'll see you boys in Charlotte.
So is it a car change next week? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, we're running SRX cars for the All-Star race next week.
Oh boy.
Oh, alrighty.
Yeah,
That's
have
pretty fun.
something cooking up here on V-Speed. They're gonna have to tune into that one for sure. All-Star race, same time, same place next week. Well, thank you, Element X. Congratulations on the podium sweep, and maybe you can do it again next week. That was your top 3 here for the K&K Electric 200 at Darlington. All right, well, with all that being said, and there was a lot said, some good banter with these guys. You have seen a presentation of the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series presented by Racing Revolution. This was the K&K Electric 200. Let's look ahead to next week. The All-Star Race, May 22nd. We just talked about it very briefly there. SRX cars, if you don't know what that is, make sure to keep it locked right here on V-Speed 1 week from today to find out all about it. North Wilkesboro, a little short track. Elevation changes on a 0.6 mile track are strange, and that place has a lot of them.
That it is. I think the SRX cars are going to be very uniquely suited to the challenge that is North Wilkesboro, and I think genuinely that's going to be a really fun combo to watch.
Yeah, I hope to see all of you in chat back here next week. If you enjoyed tonight's race, be sure to click the like and subscribe button. Obviously on the channel right here on V-Speed. Appreciate having you. Never miss a single race. More content throughout the week. If you still want more racing, Overtake iRacing League Cup Series is likely live right now. So go have a look and see what they're going through right here. Playoff race for them.
That they are.
For everyone here at V-Speed, Adam Baker, Eddie Smith, Bradley Cooper, my co-commentator, Alex Gagnon, I've been Morgan Cook. Have a great evening. Thank you. And good night.
So Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.